What's going on? What's going on, fellas? Chronicles. What's up with it? Let some more people come on up in here. Get some shit going. Gonna get some stuff going. Shalom, what's going on, Bobby Corona? Hope everybody have a good 4th of July. Some people call it 4th of July and all that, but we live in the greatest country on planet Earth. Some places you can't even have a gun. I mean, so that's why they're trying to take away your gun rights, and they're trying to feed y'all false information, so you can say, fuck this, fuck that. You know what I mean? They want you to hate where you live at, destroy where you live at. So, but that's another topic, man. Hold on, let me see something. Everybody been using Blessing versus Freestone. God's Force, what's up? Mars, what's up? What's up? Yeah, what's going on? 2 more minutes, and I'm gonna get started. 2 more minutes, I'm gonna get started. Pull up some shit from a book. Two more minutes, fellas. Two more minutes. I'm gonna break it down. Everybody didn't use it up, fellas. I apologize. Everybody used this shit. You got some niggas just using this shit like it's, like it's a get off for child support free card. It ain't no get off for child support free card. So stay your ass on child support. Because a lot of niggas going there talking about the wrong shit. That ain't their business. It used to work. It don't work no more. And there's more cases like Freestone versus Blessings for y'all who didn't know. I got some more cases on that shit too. Yep. I've been reading a lot of cases, fellas. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But first, let's we run this goddamn child support shit and we ain't giving it back. This ain't legal advice. We not anti where we live at. I love where we live at. We live in the greatest country on the planet. You know what I mean? Y'all better enjoy your freedom while you got it. But anyway, let's get started, fellas. Let me pull up on one of these good old books. I'm gonna break it down for y'all, and I'm gonna show you where it's treated negatively. Congress enactment of substantial new federal requirements as a part of welfare reform demonstrates problems in child support enforcement persist despite almost 30 years of federally orchestrated efforts. One glimpse of the continual difficulties emerges in the class actions brought by obligees. So it's brought by these bitches you had babies by and calling themselves what, fellas? A creditor. And what does a creditor do? It's funny how they use this creditor language, right? This is financial language. Seeking to compel the state, okay? These hoes want the state compliance with federal directives on child support enforcement. So the bitches want you to go to jail, take your money, right? So they arguing, hey, I got a federal right to that nigga money. I got a federal right for him to be locked up and not paying me because I'm a prostitute. I'm a hoe and I had his baby. Okay? Such lawsuits reveals systemic failures in some states, including failure to procure wage assignments, failure to disperse support payments in timely manner, and frequently loss of files, right? In an influential study conducted prior to 1996 reforms, economists examined census data to assess the effect of federal initiatives. Professors Andrea Beller and John Graham found little improvement in the child support enforcement despite increased attention to issue in the 1980s and such small change. Evaluating specific mechanisms, they concluded that income withholding, property liens, bond and security requirements, and criminal penalties have proven most effective. Let me tell y'all something. Let's talk about this property liens. They cannot put a lien on your house. They cannot put a lien on your car. They cannot do none of that stuff if you sit up here and it's foolish and you sign for some shit. If you sign this shit, okay? If you agree to the shit, right? Because that's going to be difficult to get out the what you've done. You can get out of it, but you're going to have to do a whole bunch of shit to get out of it. Kudos to the brothers who didn't sign the goddamn thing. Y'all got good remedies and y'all can get out of this shit like it ain't no tomorrow. Let me keep going. Data that wage withholding produced 50% of all collections, more than $5 billion in 1994 reinforced their conclusions. Baylor versus Graham urged caution. Read that case too. Urged caution, however, in the use of expedited administrative processes required by the Family Support Act in 1998 because the enforcement technique appears to produce lower receipt rates for child support. Okay. Hold on, let me drag this up. In addition, they encouraged experimentation with innovative techniques such as license seizures. Congress, nonetheless, has included both new administrative processes and license seizures in its 1996 requirement. Okay? Now, like with the driver's license, who issues out licenses? Child support or the DMV. So what the fuck they got to do with your license? What them hoe ass niggas do is they go request that say, hey, can you suspend his license because they ain't give us no money? You can't fucking do that. Now that's against your constitutional right. They infringing upon your right. They interfering with you to travel, right? Because having a driver's license is not only a privilege, it's a right and a property interest. Okay? Remember that. Evaluation also entails consideration of federalization and in future 1996 welfare reform legislation reflects a decision to return considerable control of family policy. What's a policy, fellas? A policy is a warrant. I put it up long time ago. A policy is a warrant, right? At least for the poor, to these states where family law traditionally has its source. The same legislation, however, imposes on states significant new federal support enforcement requirements. Does Congress, hold on, let me blow it up some more. Does Congress envision a decreasing or increasing federal role? And that's it. I cut it off. What's up, y'all? Y'all see that shit? Hold up, I'm not done. I am not done. Now, I told a lot of y'all to get case text. I told a few of y'all to get case text. Okay? Now, what do you have up here when you get case text? It's in red. You got to register it. It's free. But it's negative. Y'all get a free version and read it. Case text. But this shit is in red. When it's like that, it's negative. You can't use it no more. Okay? Now, Freestone versus Cowan. Let's read what Freestone versus Cowan was. And they have a Tennessee case with some bitches went and try to do the same Freestone shit. I got a bunch of cases of these hoes. These hoes ain't playing, fellas. They broke and they ain't got no money. And I'm going to tell you why they enforcing child support. They're enforcing on a lot of weak niggas, right? Because the bitch have the contract, private contract with the government. And the government got to uphold the contract, right? So that's their little loophole. That's their little fucking loophole. They done fought for this shit, and niggas was sitting on their ass. Look, Freestone versus Cowan. Who else bring y'all this shit? Because niggas don't read. Freestone versus Cowan. This was in 1995. This was Arizona. This case involves a class action. This class action brought by custodial parents, primarily mothers and their children who have been unable to obtain federally required support enforcement services from the state of Arizona. Y'all see this shit? Huh? Why ain't nobody else talking about this shit? Because they don't read. I'm reading something every fucking night. The class member sued under 1983 in an attempt to force the state to comply with its federal obligations under Title 4D of the Social Security Act to identify and seek support from deadbeat dads. So you gonna call it? So if a nigga deadbeat, why these hoes gonna go to the ends of the earth to go get $200, $300 off a nigga? Huh? Fellas, if you ain't a billionaire, millionaire, a thousandaire, them bitches should be fucking with y'all. Let me keep going. The federal courts have splintered on the question whether a 1983 is available to enforce Title 4D. The district court adopted the reasonable approach of Sixth Circuit finding such relief unavailable and granted summary judgment against the plaintiff families. And guess what, fellas? I found some cases you can beat this shit. Real talk. We got the cases over here to beat this shit. Sham stoppers do. Real talk. Okay, we're gonna read this. As a condition of participating in the federal aid to families with dependent children, states are required to adopt a plan for child support enforcement pursuant to Title 4D Social Security Act and to operate a program in substantial compliance with the plan 42 USC. You gotta look that up, fellas. The state program must provide a variety of services, including establishment of paternity, enforcement of support orders, and parent locators. Right? Y'all already know the rest of this bullshit, right? Y'all know this shit. But guess what? Guess what? Negative two. So, fellas, I'm gonna tell y'all something. If these bitches were smart, they would have took the federal government to court and told them that they didn't upheld their contract. But these bitches is not smart. So guess what? For them not taking them to court, that's where they come after the niggas who don't know shit. Read it. Y'all need to read this shit, man. Read between the fucking lines. These hoes didn't win. They won on the outside of this shit. And whoever did this, like, you know what? These hoes could come after the government and sue us. Let's go after these weak ass dudes. I'm telling them what it is. Real talk. I'm gonna come back and show y'all the Tennessee case. Okay. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Now I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that for people who who down with us and who donate with us. Okay. I'm just giving y'all something to think about. Y'all can see for yourself the shit is negative. Stop you if you're gonna use, don't use this anymore. You can't use this anymore. You know what I mean? Because child support is governed by contract law, nigga. Child support is governed by contract law. Remember that. Can y'all say it again? Child support is governed by contract law. Did the podcast recently about informal contracts. Y'all learn that. Okay. Y'all learn that. And then too, on a bank account, they cannot let you say, hey, say if you want to close your bank account, they can't do that. You can sue them for that. Okay. We got some people on the ropes. We're gonna have us some good old testimonies this year. Cause I'm putting in some overtime. We putting in overtime over here. You know what I mean? We finna put some people asses to the goddamn fire. All right. We got some cold shit over here coming. Real talk. Real talk. And the people, they know who I'm talking to. It's gonna be good. I just wanted to step and say something about this. Stop using blessings versus Freestone. If you see anybody using blessings versus Freestone, they'll lie. The shit don't work, and you ain't gonna get off because you use that. Because this case ain't pertaining. You was some hoes. This was some hoes cases. She don't have a federal right. Duh. She don't have a federal right. But under contract law, she do. Because contract law rules this country. Right? So, fellas, again, don't be signing shit. If you feeling your gut not to sign shit, you read that fucking contract first. You have a duty to read that goddamn contract. Don't be up here signing shit freely. I freely sign you, and I come look at you. You up here, man. I didn't know, man. No, you did know. They didn't put no gun to your head. None of that. And if you had a hearing and they say they got jurisdiction and all that, you ain't got no contract, you ain't on no child support, buddy. They just fooling your ass. They playing mind games with you. They thinking you boo-boo the fool. Everything has to be in writing, and signatures has to be on that agreement, aka promise. If it has anything to do with commercial, financial, right? Trust, any of that shit. They can't just put you on child support and you ain't got no contract, you ain't signed, you agree. They are all agreements. Correct. That ain't law. No, yeah, you're right. It ain't law. Administrative means to give consent and paperwork. You ever heard of an administrative assistant? They telling on themselves, right? Administrative assistant. What does an administrative assistant do, fellas? She handles paperwork with a lot of signatures on it. That ain't nothing but a court clerk. She's administrator, aka customer service, aka administrative assistant. They give her that title to make sure she has power to bring her stanky ass to work. That's why they get these hoes these jobs. They get them titles so they can come to work like they doing something. They don't have no power. Bitch, you ain't got no power if you got to clock in. Remember that, fellas. The bitch ain't got power. She got to clock in. It's been good, fellas. I hope y'all have a good 4th of July. Don't let nobody get in your head and tell you this country this and country that. You wasn't no slaves. You wasn't in no chains. Everybody in the ground was slaves. Damn near. That ain't got shit to do with you. Slavery been abolished. You ain't no bitch's slave either. So hey, y'all have a good night, man. Peace.